won last night's presidential debate between President Obama and Mitt Romney? Well, don't trust me, don't trust Fox News, trust the American people. They've been polled by a lot of folks. Most of these are scientific, some are unscientific, which I'll explain to you as we go along, but overall they paint a very, very clear picture. All right, public policy polling, legitimate scientific polling, 58-36, President Obama, so that's a giant win right there. Now, you can say, hey, you know what, they lean a little left. Okay, fair enough. We say that about Rasmussen leaning right from time to time. So let's go to CNBC. Now, they asked over 60,000 people. I'm not clear whether this is a scientific poll or not, but they got a clear vote too, 68-28, and CNBC ain't no friend of President Obama. Okay, so that's also clear. Now, we go to CBS News. These are uncommitted voters, scientific poll. 37% Obama, 30% Romney, 33% tied. Okay, so a 7-point win for President Obama. You go to Xbox YouGov. This is also unscientific, but they also asked, I think, about 30,000 people or so. They isolated nearly 1,000 people who were uncommitted voters. And again, this one, take with a huge grain of salt, much more likely to be young males. Obama wins in a landslide there, 51-17. They claim those are uncommitted voters, but still, they're young and they're male. Now, when you go to CNN, the one that everybody's looking at, again, Obama, winner, 46-39. So the lowest margin of victory is 7. The largest margin of victory is gigantic. And there's not a single poll that has Romney winning. Every single poll has President Obama winning the debate. No question about it. So who are the only people questioning it? CNN, the people who did the poll. I love this because it goes to show you in a nutshell the insane neutrality of the mainstream press. Watch Wolf Blitzer and Anderson Cooper try to explain away the Obama win here.
Slight edge, though, 46% for President Obama, 39% for Governor Romney. The numbers are coming in pretty much, if you take a look overall, Anderson, of all these numbers, pretty much a slight edge to the president, but I'd say the poll shows pretty much of a draw.
Well, also interesting to see when you look at will it actually change your vote, who makes you more likely to vote for, 25%, 25%.
So pretty much a draw, a draw, right? I mean, don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen. That's our poll. It says 46-39, Obama won. But no. If Romney wins, a Republican wins, then CNN is screaming from the rooftops, Republican wins, Republican wins. Why? Because then they won't be called biased. They're like, look at how unbiased we are. We told you a Republican won. If a Democrat wins, pretty much a draw. I mean, if you look at inside the numbers, then, it's not as clear. And we're so sorry, Republicans, for doing a poll that showed that a Democrat had won. Believe me, we're neutral. We're neutral. That's insanity, man. And I know I've used this example a million times, but can you imagine if sports reporters reacted the same way? They're like, well, it looks like Detroit's up in the series against the Yankees. But you know what? Another way of looking at it is if you want to be neutral towards the Yankees, I mean, it's pretty much a draw. No, it's not a draw. The Yankees are losing. See, they played the games. There was a result. You're reporting the result. They're unbelievable, man. That's why you can't trust the mainstream media. Because they're so cowed by the politicians, by the people who are in charge, and specifically by the Republicans of the right wing. They'll do anything to say that they're not in favor of the Democrats, even hiding their own poll. God, the way Blitzer was stumbling there was awesome. He'll do it again. Watch this.
Slight edge, though, 46% for President Obama, 39% for Governor Romney. The numbers are coming in pretty much, if you take a look overall, Anderson, of all these numbers, pretty much a slight edge to the president, but I'd say the poll shows pretty much of a draw.
Well, also interesting to see when you look at...
That's awesome. That's a slight edge, but pretty much a draw. By the way, 7 points is not a slight edge. I mean, it's not 70 points, but you don't need 70 points. Look, if it was 1 or 2 points, you could say, hey, that's within the margin of error. It's not even within the margin of error. It's a clear win. All right, now look, don't get me wrong. It's not like I think that it was like crushing, and it's not like I believe the Xbox numbers. It's not like I thought it changed the election. And Anderson Cooper's point, I mean, Wolf Blitzer was more comical. Anderson Cooper jumping in with some numbers that might help Romney was funny. But Anderson Cooper's point at least wasn't wrong. There's a million numbers, and the Associated Press went covering it too. Like, well, look, there was a lot of numbers in Romney's favor. I mean, he was better on the economy, and he was better here. Well, obviously, a lot of people thought President Obama was better in other numbers, and you didn't show those numbers. Why? Because I'm going to be unbiased. I'm going to be unbiased, right? So anyway, but I don't want you to get too excited about President Obama winning the debate, because that number that Cooper was quoting is relevant, and let me show it to you. At the end of this, even though they thought President Obama had won those voters, they said, who are you most likely to vote for? And it was 25-25, and either one at 48%. So there's a reason why uncommitted voters are still uncommitted 20 days before an election. Because they're like, dude, I don't know. Like, that guy said one thing, then the fucked up thing is that the other guy said something else. Yeah. So it's not like it's end of this. Although, of course, as I told you, this election was over weeks ago. By the way, so many people bashing me. Oh, what happened? I thought the election was over. National Review just wrote a piece. The poorly prescient, or whatever the hell they said, Cenk Uygur. Like, hey, listen, did I stutter, bitch? The election is over. It was over before, it's over now. I have never changed on that, because I didn't say that President Obama was going to win in a landslide. I said President Obama was going to win even if a whole bunch of things go wrong. And then a whole bunch of things went wrong, and I never wavered. I still think he's going to win. I still think it's clear. He's got a significant lead in Ohio, in Nevada, in Iowa. Do the math. Okay, this will help him a little bit, and part of that analysis of mine was based on that President Obama was running a very effective campaign. They weren't going to all of a sudden fall off a cliff. Things could go wrong, but that they would recover. And guess what happened in this debate? They recovered.